y'all, welcome to Lindsay's balcony garden tour. We're going to start over here at the potting bench section. So this first plant is my red amaryllis, and I got this around Christmas time last year. It bloomed really nicely, potted it up, and it's going to stay on the balcony until probably October of this year. And then we have the propagation station, which was featured in my first YouTube video. I've got some roses in there right now, and a mint plant, and also a plant that I don't know the name of, but was somewhere outside of my building, and I loved the flowers on it, so I decided to take a cutting, and it's doing really well. Then I've got some poppy seeds that I started. They're doing okay. It's got foliage, but no flowers yet. Then I have my mint plant, which is looking a little sad, but hopefully that other cutting that I took can replace it. And then a mint that I started from seed over here. And then down in the lower section here, I've got a bunch of lavenders that I've propagated. This one I think is really cool. I've taken the bottom leaves off. I'm trying to get the base to be more like a tree, and then we'll have a nice foliagey top, so training it to look like that. Then over in this corner I have my thyme plant, which is doing really well. Been able to take a lot of cuttings from that. So this is where I sit in the mornings or in the evenings and drink coffee or have a glass of wine and just look out and enjoy the balcony view. But this plant has been on the table all season long. It is 3 single plants: a Proven Winners Super Tunia Vista Bubblegum, a Proven Winners Super Tunia Vista Silverberry, and then a Super Tunia Mini White. And right now it's looking very green. I actually just cut it back last week. It was in just full color with pinks and whites and that silverberry mixture. But I wanted to cut it back and get some fresh growth on it, make it look a little bit nicer. It looks great right now though. I'm loving all of the green foliage on it. It seems to be doing really well and looking really happy. So the next part of the balcony is my wonderful plant stand. I've got 3 different levels here. I'll start from top to bottom and go through everything that I've got on here. So the top row are my jalapenos and my lemon plants. The jalapenos are doing pretty good. So this plant, you can see just a ton of jalapenos on there, looking really good. This center one has been battling aphids, so it hasn't produced any jalapenos yet. This one over here behind me has got a couple on it, so it's doing okay. I think this lemon is done for. This is one that I actually started from seed, but just didn't overwinter well, and you know, if I had to lose one, I guess this one's okay. And then my lemon pink lemonade is doing really well. Such a pretty plant, really fun to grow. So my second row is mostly herbs with a few other plants on it. So I have 2 gardenias. They've already bloomed for the season, so now they're just enjoying the sun, and they're looking really good. I'm so excited for next year. I think they're just gonna have even more blooms than they did this past year. Got beautiful looking rosemary plant that I started from propagation. Got a basil over here that's doing okay. Some sage, some parsley. Got a lavender all the way in the back here. And so there is, let me bring you in, there is a container back here that has saffron in it, saffron crocus. So I'm hoping that this fall I will get some saffron. And then over here we've got a pineapple, sage, herb. We've got some dill that's just growing pretty wildly. And then I have a crab apple tree that I got for free from, I think it was the arborist community, but this is doing really well. I'm so excited. So here you can see some zinnias that are popping up from the 3rd level, the bottom level here. So if you go down, they're actually growing in this container right here. And I can't wait to see the blooms on these. They're about ready to pop here. Then I've got 2 peonies. That one is dying out for the season. It did great in the spring, so I think, you know, it's gonna have a lot of energy for next season. Really excited about that. Some bachelor's buttons there. Another peony back in there that's looking pretty good still, so getting some energy for next season. And then this plant right here, which is a dogwood tree that I got bare root, also from the Arbor Foundation. Doing really well. I have this bed down here and I'm growing peonies, roses, and love and a puff vine in this bed. So let me scooch it in so you can see. So the love and a puff is actually growing out in the back here. I have had some spider mite damage on some of the lower area. Been working on treating that, but I was so excited to see that, I mean, look at this thing, it's doing really well. And then yesterday, I actually noticed that I've got some puffs. So excited about that. I can't wait to put them in some of my flower arrangements. Also, there is a bee that has just been loving the love and a puff, and I'm happy for it. How a bee came up 23 floors is beyond me, but hey, if you need food, I guess you gotta go find it. So there's also a peony that's growing. There's 2 peonies right between the love and a puff vine and then my rose bush. Those haven't bloomed or anything, but they're looking well, storing up energy for next season. So then I have my next rose bush, which is Bride's Dream, and it's done really well. It's not blooming currently. I actually did just cut some blooms off, but it does have some new growth, but it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy. Some spider mite damage on this one as well. I've been working on tackling that, but it seems to be doing okay. I did plant some zinnias. They're about to bloom. I have another peony over here, and that's doing well, looks great. So this rose is the lemon spice rose, and I actually do have some of these blooming right now, so you want to take a look at that. So pretty. Like, oh my gosh, got a bloom over here. It's coming along. sun. I've got a bunch of blooms that are looking good here, so this bed has been really great. I wanted roses last year. I did buy them in September. Lemon spice did bloom a few times last year, but they both just done so well, and to be growing them in, I mean, look at this container. It's so small, so just don't limit yourself. Even if you have a small space, you can do so much with it. So the next bed that I have is my, what I like to call the vegetable bed. It's also in a self-watering container. I'm probably going to replant these here in a couple weeks, just because I don't love the soil that I used for this container. It's different than the other two. I really like the Miracle-Gro potting soil, and that I did not use that for this, and I learned my lesson. So I will probably be switching that out here pretty soon. I think that'll help with the growth. This is a butternut squash. Then I have a peanut plant here, and then a pickling cucumber here. So hopefully these will start to come along here in the next few weeks and get a little more growth. So next we have my final bed, and again, I just love these containers. They're self-watering, they're so easy, just do fantastic. So going through the plants, this is a hydrangea that I started from propagate. I'm not quite sure what variety it is, but it's one that will bloom either in a white ball shape or a white cone shape. So we'll find out probably next year, but this thing has grown so much. It's done so well this year. I'm just, again, waiting for it to store up that energy so I get the blooms next year. Then I actually think next up is a gardenia, which is doing really well. Bloomed this year, looked really great. Then I planted a Supertunia Bordeaux, which, you know, the flowers on these, stunning. Just love the color, love the veining, and it's really loving the sun. It's growing a lot off of the balcony here. You can tell, but it's really liking this container. Then I have another hydrangea here that did bloom this year. This was also started from propagate. Had some beautiful pink blooms on it. I'm trying to get the soil in this bed to be acidic so that it will bloom blue, but so far when I have tested my pH, it's still very basic, so I'll keep working on that, but we'll see what happens. And then I have another hydrangea right here, which did bloom also this year, but doesn't look like it's doing as well as the one to its left. That's okay. I think it doesn't look like it's dying, so we'll just keep an eye on it, keep it watered, and hope that it blooms next year. Then I planted another Bordeaux. This one's doing great too. Lots of blooms. And then tucked away in here behind all the Bordeaux is another gardenia, which also bloomed and is doing pretty well. So this is a big flower bed for me. It's really pretty. I think next year it's just gonna go wild with blooms. And then at the end of this bed, I have two amaryllis plants. This one, I believe, is my pink amaryllis called Blushing Bride. And then this one is a white amaryllis, and they're both stunning. I actually had them in pots on top of this portion of the bed, and then I lifted up the pots one day and the roots were growing into the bed. So I just decided to go ahead and plant them for now. I will dig them up when I take the other amaryllis inside so that I can have them as Christmas flowers indoors. Alright, y'all, that is the tour of Lindsay's balcony garden. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!